Hello guys, welcome back to our podcast. I'm Maureen Salim, and today we are discussing multiple topics, and we'll be doing peer pressure, transactional sex, toxic relationships, and how they are related to gender-based violence. And yeah, I'll let my colleagues introduce themselves before we continue.
Hello, I'm Moses Migoe.
Hi, my name is Christine Were.
Yeah, so we'll start with the transactional sex.
Why are you smiling when you're mentioning transactional sex?
I want you to define it.
All right. So transactional sex is the sex where you engage in a sexual activity with the motive of receiving something at the end of it. Could be money, pads, food, a ride back home. If you know what I'm saying, yeah.
So from recent research, we visited a certain school. Sitasema the name of the school. So the girls were like, kuna questions walituandikia, and we realized transactional sex ni kitu yenye ina happen huku ndani na watoto wetu or our girls. Should I call them victims? They are victims of it. Mtu anamwambia ati mtu wa pikipiki anamwambia, you know what, nitakupatia pesa pocket money, but unajua utakuja kwangu jioni. And to them walikuwa wanafikiria utakuja uchukue kwangu jioni, but nitakupatia. So wanaenda, mwingine akasema there is this guy mwenye alimwambia atamnunulia pad, but before mpatie hiyo pads wa have sex na yeye. So I was really surprised because these are children between the age of was it 8 from grade 4? Between the age of 8 to 15. So nilifeel kama watu this boda guys ama the boyfriend alipata huko nje, they are really taking advantage of them. Na hao watoto hawakuwa wanajua, they felt like mtu ananipatia di pocket money, ananipatia di pads. So yeah, that was my take in transactional sex. Sijui nyinyi mnaona?
Yeah, actually when we talk about transactional sex, you find that it is a very broad spectrum when we look at it. So there are things that make somebody wants to be in transactional sex. First, unaweza pata maybe tu ni kadem, maybe the father or the parent mwenye ako nayo, the guardian is not able to provide ile need yake, ama akona ile shy, there are some kind of things she doesn't want to go and ask, like daddy, can you buy for me pads, anaona hii aibu. So that can trigger maybe a young person to indulge in transactional sex. And again, when we look at it, we are not looking at only girls. You find that even young boys are being lured into transactional sex because there are those women outside there who are just ready to take advantage of the young minds.
And then again, I also think it's not just about provision of parents. At times our kids have wrong company. They just want to, they feel like it's their right to be exposed at a young age, which is not bad, but then they're being exposed in a very bad way. Like there's this adult, he's above 18, he knows that he's not supposed to be having sex with a minor, but atamdanganya, I'll buy for you shoes, I'll give you pads. Anajua vizuri he's not supposed to be doing this, but akiconvince msichana, the girl will end up engaging in whatever thing he wants to.
Just to add on what Christine has said, unajua between the age of 10 all the way to 18, ini age wako adolescent. So these people are like wanataka kujaribu everything, so they grab every information they get from their peers, hata kama ni wrong ni right, they just grab it. So I think parents pia wako na role ku play to ensure these girls ama the boys they wasikuwe victims wa transactional sex. Wanafaa wa come in waongeleshe. Unaona hizi vitu zenye nasikia from her peers about sex, about boyfriend, about nini, I think parents wanafaa ku come out clearly, have those discussions. Moses nimesikia akisema wengine wanaweza ogopa kuongea na wazazi wao, maybe so wakuje tu openly waongelee. Unaambia mtoto wako vile ameanza period, anaonyesha ameanza kukua productive, so don't do sex don't do this is right, like ongea na yeye vitu directly, kwa sababu akisikia from the peers hata kama ni wrong yeye atajua iko sawa.
That I just take like that.
Yeah.
And again, if we tukiangalia true again, it is not only parents. I think everybody have a responsibility.
Yeah.
The school, the teachers, I think the entire community just have a role. Ukiona mtoto mwenzako akiingia kwa ile problem, because where we live in our neighborhoods, these things happen. Yeah, you can just see a motorbike person maybe ameingia kwa nyumba na mtoto. It is upon us to raise the alarm. So it is like a responsibility of everybody in the community, so that we can be able to tackle this thing and put it under the table.
Yeah, and again, I think if you're a parent out there, and you want to like talk to your child, tell them not to have sex, tell them what sex is, tell them this is what happens when you have this, and this is what happens if you don't have this. Unaona venye tulikuwa tukigrow up unaambia usilambe skari but utende ulambe because mbona usilambe, unataka kujua ni nini ya wataki nilambe, and you go and find out that skari ni tamu by the
And I think hiyo kitu ime affect watu, especially during those old times. Parents were just like, don't have sex. And we were like there, why are we not supposed to have sex? You get?
So umenikumbusha I had this conversation with a friend of mine, Christine alikuwa. So aliniambia when she was growing up alikuwa anaambiwa don't have sex. So kwa akili yake kwa class 6 ati mwalimu akimshika hivi anaenda kuambia mamake, mwalimu ame have sex na mimi kushikwa tu hivi. So in her mind mamake alikuwa amemwambia usi have sex. So alikuwa anajua sex tu ni mwanaume kinishika tu hivi ni sex. Anakimbia kwa mamake ambia kumwambia mwalimu ame have sex na mimi. So like hiyo kuambia mtoto unafaa kumwambia sex hivi ndio iko, na kwa nini ufai kufanya hiyo sex. Si kumwambia tu don't have sex. Hata fikira hata ku have sex ni kushika masikio.
So you see there is a way that warnings do work in the minds of the young people. You just warn them there is your question to inakuja, but why? What happens if I do this? So I think just like you had said earlier, parents need to come out broadly.
Talk about it.
Don't have sex. The reason why you don't need to have this sex right now is because of A, B, C, D. So that ajue, okay, if this happen. Information is always very critical, and once these people are informed, I think they can be able to have that informed decision making. So that even if they are going to do it, they just know Baba alisema this will happen if I do this. So they also tend to have that confidence if they have the information.
So it is a responsibility of the whole community to ensure that these girls or our boys don't fall victim of transactional sex. And back to that, transactional sex may lead to an increase of unplanned pregnancies among youths.
Contraction of STIs, AIDS.
So tukiweza control tutakuwa tumecontrol vitu vingi.
A lot of things.
Very true.
So back to should I say back to our second topic, toxic relationships and how is related to gender-based violence.
So to me, Kwanza, I think toxic relationships, if you find yourself comfortable in a toxic relationship, you just have a problem. Maybe you grew up thinking that, maybe you grew up in a toxic home and it has stuck on your mind that if this is what happened to my parents back then it's very okay for me to also go through this. If my mom did not walk out of this relationship, then I'm also not walking out. People will think I'm weak. Others tend to choose to stay in toxic relationships, maybe because of children. What will my children be? What will become of my children if I leave this relationship? So it comes from like your past experience.
But sorry, I don't think it's okay not to be okay. Like some people and watu wanateseka and they feel like it's just okay, which is not okay, which is like it's not okay.
It's not okay not to be okay,
because I feel like your rights have been violated. Hufai kufikiria about what about community tasemaje, and I feel I'm in a toxic relationship ama niko in a place yenye my rights are being violated as a woman. So like you don't need to care about what the community will say. you only need to care about like
Yourself.
my rights have been violated, I'm not okay in this place is not safe for me, and you just walk out or find a solution. Yeah, tusiongele zile vitu za wazee wetu ati hata kama uko in a toxic relationship ubaki
Just
tu.
stay.
Vumilia tu. No.
And I also think when we talk about toxic relationship, population and gender balance also have a role to play. I'm listening sometimes to people talking outside there. So actually by the end of the day, when census is done, you find that maybe there is a high number of girls more than boys. So somebody just want to be in a toxic relationship because she is not quite sure if she will get another boyfriend. So napata mtu kama huyu maybe anapata some kind of advice. My friend, just stay. It is difficult. Kupata mwanaume ni ngumu. So you see that by the end of the day does not add up. It is your life you are putting in line, and that is very dangerous. It is not cast on stone that ati wanaume ni less na madems ni wengi, so you just have to stay there even things are running out of hand. No. It is not supposed to work like that.
Just to add on that, kuna huyu celebrity mwenye sitamtaja jina lake, but she was sharing her story. So yeye akigrow up, like wanaume walikuwa namuongelesha ile vibaya, like you are not cute, you are not doing this, you are not nini. So akapata this guy mwenye alimwambia you are cute, you are everything, you are nini. So yeye akajua this is the guy. So amekuwa kwa that relationship, imekuwa anachapwa, the guy anacheat and all that. But huyu msichana amebelieve like ni kitu yenye iligrow kwa akili yake, amebelieve hata nikitoka hakuna mtu mwingine ataniangalia vile huwa ananiangalia, because is the only one mwenye ameniambia mimi ni mrembo, I'm special and all that. So anamfanyia vitu mbaya but pia haezi walk away. So hiyo kitu mimi ninge-trace back to the time akigrow up as a parent. Kwa watoto wasichana ama mtoto yoyote yule vile wana grow up, unafaa tuambie msichana wako you are beautiful, you are blessed. Like tamkia mtoto wako maneno ya blessing. Juu hiyo kitu vile ana grow up itakuja imuaffect. Kama udemsa alibelieve hakuna like yes si mrembo.
No one sees her beauty apart from this.
So ule mwenye amemuona ni mrembo, hata kama namchapa ata stay na yeye because is the only one mwenye ameona yeye ni special na ni mrembo. Yeah.
And then in a relationship, I think an individual who is in a relationship need to set their standard and priorities right.
Yeah.
When things happen the first time and you just let them go like that, there is high chance that
It
the
will
same
happen
thing will
again.
repeat itself. So it is very, very right for somebody in a relationship to just say, this is the boundary. You don't slap me, you don't beat me, this is what happens. Ukiona mtu amekupiga mara ya kwanza, usisema ati maybe he was just overthinking, atachange something like that. No. If it happens the first time, there is high chances that again it can happen. And if it happens the second times, it has some level up. Kama ya kwanza alikuslap and then you took no action, you were just like, ilifanyika tu mara moja. The second time it will not be a slap, it will be a slap accompanied by a kick or maybe
punch.
Something. So we always have to set our boundaries and our priorities right. You don't have to be there, it is not a must.
Others will hit you and then they'll come back and apologize and be like, but you annoyed me, next time don't do that. No. And then you think it will register in your mind that so if
there's
I do
no
this he will hit
violence.
me, next time I won't repeat the same mistake. But then he'll just find something else and he'll hit you and it will continue. So I think that if you choose to make yourself comfortable in a violent relationship, and you guys have children, it will affect the children as well, and they'll grow up knowing, especially if they are male children in that house, they will grow up knowing if my mom made a mistake to my father, this is the action that my dad took. And I'll also do it to my wife, and my wife will, and my sons will do it again to their wives. So
itakuwa ni kama circle continue to have violence, and they feel it's okay.
I was listening to some radio conversation and somebody was like, at a sweet relationship iko na ups and downs. Yes, I agree, but you find that mtu anasema ati unajua ukipigwa kidogo kuna kautamu fulani, tena mnakuja mna make up things and then it becomes so sweet, then ile live in a reverberate something like. So sometimes people have different information and what works for another person doesn't really need to work for you. By the end of the day, this is what actually sparkle even this violence that we see here. Once mnapigana kwa nyumba, that's how your kids will grow. They will just be knowing that the only way to resolve violence is just by physically fighting. So this toxic relationship, they are not supposed to be there anyway. And if there is, which I know, these things happen, they are there in the community. We must always be people who are thinking on a way to find a solution. Don't stick.
To keep quiet.
Yeah, don't stick and keep quiet. You know, kuna watu wenye wako na high esteem. By the way, kuna wale madams wenye wezi niguza. Like the kinds of I know my right. Namchapa hivi and that's better. But kuna wale wenye wako low self esteem.
They won't speak about it.
Mimi nimezoea tu, mimi napigwangwa tu hivyo, and then no. My sister, you're not supposed to be suffering like that. Find a way out, and there's always a way out. Once you start thinking that way, then you can be able to find
a way out, a solution,
and a better place.
Yeah, sawa. So like don't be silent because there is violence or maybe someone violated your rights. Speak out and find a solution, because it's not something that will affect you as a person, but if you have kids, it may affect even your kids. So let's speak out.
And because of that, we will share GBV hotlines, nationwide GBV hotlines. From wherever you are, you can get help when you just make that call.
Yeah, so to our third topic, we are talking about peer pressure and how peer pressure has led to an increase in unplanned or teenage pregnancies.
Peer pressure. Peer pressure is for like doing something because your age mates are doing it and you think it's the new thing, it's the cool thing.
Fanya hivyo.
You don't have a boyfriend? My boyfriend bought me this.
So for me, basically, I will categorize peer pressure. There is a good peer pressure
and
a bad peer pressure.
There's always a good side.
Yeah. So you see, like maybe in a workplace, you uko na peers work. Then you are people who maybe are channeled towards positive thinking. Yani mna compete on a good note. Like nani amejenga nyumba and I want mi pia nijenge nyumba. Yeah, you see, that's a good peer pressure by the end of the day. But kuna ile ya nani amefanya, let me also
do it.
You get, let me also do it, and maybe you don't know. You know what works for nani doesn't necessarily have to work for you. So you always also have to weigh your options. Because when you just go into it blindly, you hit the blind spot and maybe you are doomed.
Just on it, I had some few conversation with some teenagers. I won't mention the school of course, and walikuwa wanasema like unaweza ona mwenzako ako na boyfriend, then anakuja anakuambia ati wewe hauna boyfriend, wangu amenifanyia hii, amenifanyia this, amenifanyia that. So these other girls wana feel vibaya because the other girl ako na boyfriend and anamfanyia all that, not knowing that kama ina work kwake haiwezi work for you. Then the same girl anaingia kwa trap, anaenda to the same relationship, she ends up pregnant. Then anashanga kwani kitu marafiki zangu aliniambia ni nini. So venye Moses amesema kuna positive na negative. So we just have to be like
cautious,
cautious,
the one you choose.
Yeah. Na parents pia waongee na watoto wao, kwa sababu kama mamangu ameniambia doing this and that is bad, na marafiki zangu pia waende wani hype. Sasa hiyo mimi niko 12 years old. Nitafikiria vile mamangu aliniambia this thing is bad. But parents are doing the opposite. They don't want to talk about sensitive things with their girls, their adolescent girls. Wana feature tu vile mmesema, wanaifunika.
They feel like if they talk about it, they'll start corrupting
wanaenda kuongea sasa na their peers wakidanganyana vile, you know what, sex ni tamu, hujajaribu this thing.
It's happened, especially in a school setting. But we don't say that it is bad. There will always be a peer pressure everywhere you go. You will always be tempted to do something that you have never done. But I think what you are saying here, the bottom line is, you check on, you be choosy on what is going to help you. Because you see, by the end of the day, peer pressure will have a negative or a positive repercussions on you. So I think an individual need to sit down and think, if this, kama we are on a boyfriend, do I necessarily need to have a boyfriend? Is there a need? Is there importance of doing that? You see, if the answer is no, then stick with your no and let it be a no. You see. Because when we are growing, even us, when we are growing back in school, you find that in a school there are different people come from different places. Some are rich, some are poor, some are middle. So you find that the poor want to mix with the rich and they want to do the stuff that the rich does,
rich are doing.
only to find that by the end of the day yeye alikuwa amefanya kitu yenye ule amefanya but hawezi manage. So that is what actually lead to peer pressure. Mtu anakuambia oh, hii ni bangi, ukishachapa utakuwa haire, wewe unamwona kama ako haire kwa class nini or something like that, and then you are tempted kama huyu ako hyper kwa class and I just want to be like him, and until unafika ile point unaanza kuona uzuri ya negative thing. You get, without really thinking what is the long term effect
of this.
And that is how our boys, our young brothers and sisters find themselves in sex, in drugs, and these other bad things. Yeah. So I think we need to be critical thinkers. Just think on a positive line.
Yeah, I usually tell myself that there's nothing new under the sun. Everything that you want to do has been done already. So before you do it, like, just look back. Obviously, you know of someone who did the same thing you want to do, but then ask yourself, how did they do it? Did they do it like, what path did they take to get to where they are? Did they go around I'm sorry for saying this, sleeping around with men to get money, or did they work hard and started their own business? That's just an example. Like the way Moses has just mentioned, whatever works for this person will not necessarily work for you. It might work for you, but not in the same way that it worked for this person, and then end up with very bad effects. Yeah,
if I can just give an example. You see the case especially with drug addicts. You see, when you're still in school, you see those dirty men on the street there, they smoke, they drink. How do you think they started? Just by a path. Jaribu tu. So you are there, you are just like, hii yetu tunaivutanga ki-style, you see? You put a name to it. Hii yetu ni ya swag. You get? Even those people you see who are dirty on the street there, some of them have gone mad already. Walianza na hiyo swag. And by the end of the day, they are mad. Huh? Even those people, even those girls you see walking naked there in the street, how did they start? They didn't just wake up one day to just go there and put themselves in that situation. It started by testing. Let us see how this will go. And bit by bit, they escalate to a point whereby they find themselves in a no-reverse situation. Yeah. So always think.
So as we conclude this topic, I'll still urge parents and the whole community, the whole community, you act as stakeholders in this. These are our girls, and kwetu tunasema ukifundisha msichana mmoja umefundisha jamii yote. So we believe once you educate a girl, you educate the whole community. So let's take care of these girls. Let's take full responsibility and ensure these girls get somewhere, because once they are stuck here, then the whole community is doomed. So let's take our responsibility as a community and ensure these girls are empowered. We work with them throughout this journey.
Yes, sir. Next topic.
Tushamaliza. Nataka mseme take away notes then.
Oh.
Okay. So to me, I would always say that every day always bring us closer to our graves. So what impact do we want to give, or the legacy that we want to leave behind? Every day we have to work, we have to think. And for us to make a good society and a clean society that we so yearn for, it just have to start from us. If you see somebody or somebody's child is doing a wrong thing, it is your responsibility. It is not only the parent and the teacher. It is for all of us. So let us just be out there, advise, and tukiona kitu mbaya, just raise alarm. It is always good to raise alarm. Even God will bless you if you do that. So all of us, let us just be cautious about these issues that are affecting our young ones, so that by the end of the day, wakienda shule and then they become successful people, it is not them, it is us as a community.
Mine, first of all, I'd like to put out a disclaimer. We are not life experts, but it's easy for you to talk and advise someone looking from afar or looking from outside. So talk to a sister, talk to a brother, advise, encourage, especially on the encouragement part. Tell someone she looks nice. If you have a daughter, tell them they look good, so that they don't go out getting this from men and thinking that this man means everything to me. Yeah.
Bye. See you next time.
Ciao.